The indication to apply thumb spica splint is suspected uh, scaphoid fracture, non-angulated, non-displaced extraarticular fracture of the base of the first metacarpal, Bennett fracture. It is used for fracture of the scaphoid or fracture of the thumb metacarpal or proximal phalanx. First, you need to assess distal pulse, motor, and sensation. Apply padding and split material to the distal aspect of the forearm and covering the thumb. Wrist should be in slight extension, approximately 20%, with thumb in functional position. Please remember that you have to keep the nail bed open to check for the capillary refill. Thumb spica may be fashioned from one wide splint that runs along the thumb and the radial aspect of the wrist, two separate non-pre-padded plaster splints. Keeping the hand in neutral position, first measure the splint right from the thumb to the mid forearm. Many people advocate to put thumb slight up, and I prefer to keep it in a cup holding position. It's a lot easier. A thumb spica immobilizes the wrist and the thumb. The thumb spica applies to any dressing that encompass a main trunk plus one or more of its branches, in this case the forearm plus the thumb. Apply padding and splint material to the radial aspect of the forearm and covering the thumb. Wrist should be in slight extension, approximately 20 degree, with the thumb in functional position. Not too much padding to put extra pressure. Keep extra padding on the bony prominence like wrist, where you need extra padding. And then wrap the soft roll 50% as we go up. The wrist piece run along the extensor aspect of the hand and forearm, beginning at the metacarpal heads and ending just short of the antecubital crease. We go up to the mid forearm, and for the long thumb spica up to the elbow, but for most uncomplicated injury, mid forearm is fine. Ask the patient to envision holding a can soda. So pre-measure splint or measure it when you're applying it. You can tear the splint very easily. Many people do splint while wrapping it around at the end because there are pressure point there. 3 to 4 layers in the end of the soft roll. Again, keep the rule of 50% of the layer. Wet your splint into hot water. Most books say tepid water, but hot water is much faster. And using my finger to remove excess water to mold the strips together. And then by using cut ends to mold it around, and on one last round of soft roll, check your molding is fine. Keep your thumb like holding a cup. Make sure the edges are smooth and let it rest to take the plaster for 5 to 10 minutes. I like to tear my splint into 3 sections, forming a W. Now take the crab bandage. You don't want to keep it really tight, just a stretch to apply compression, and again 50% of the layer and get to the end. Wrist should be in slight extension, approximately 20-degree with thumb in functional position. Ask your patient to envision holding a soda can. Ask the patient to envision holding a can soda. Maintain positioning until splint material hardens. Reassess distal pulse, motor, and sensation. And secure splint to forearm.